another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm your host, Edwin, and where do all fights start? Round one. Hopefully, you guys hear me loud and clear right now. I'm testing out my new audio, new addition to the family here. As you can see, my audio's right here. So hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear. As you're tuning into the live stream, please allow me to know that you guys can hear me and that the quality is good. If it's getting out, well, I'm gonna go back and look at it too myself. But if I need to put the noise suppressant on and so forth, let me know. Yeah. Now, another thing is, how do I see you guys' chats? Please put up a chat real quick. Frontline, my man in the building. Right on time with the chat too. I seen it come up. Just making sure because I'm connecting these two softwares together. Actually, it's three softwares I got to connect right now to this right now. How you doing? Loud and clear so far? Yeah? Does it sound like studio quality, like a real mic? Does it sound like a real mic? You know, because I gotta see what's up. What's up, guys? Yeah, man, we're gonna be getting into this all this new breaking news and everything with Turkey Al-Sheikh and Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. I was on the Boxing Voice last night when it broke. Shouts out to Two Tone. He was on his channel. He went and I heard the story on Two Tone's platform first. That's where I first heard it, right? So it sounds good. Thank you. So the story broke, and let's take a look at what's been transpiring lately in the boxing world. Okay, as we all know that Turkey Al-Sheikh signed Teofimo Lopez and various fighters, and he put them to fight on a fight card in New York City, where that the night was less than what everybody anticipated for all these big names and all this money that Turkey's putting on these fighters. It seems like as the payday for these fighters get bigger, they lack in performance. I don't know, is it me or do you guys feel the same way, right? So it's kind of like I always thought that they should give the fighters more incentives, say, hey, it's a $10 million fight, but you need to do X, Y, and Z, or at least perform at a level to get the initial bonuses. And it would give fighters incentive to fight harder rather than already knowing, hey, the check's already in the bank. I could run around like William Skull and, you know, cheat the fans out of a good fight, so to speak. So Teofimo Lopez, being the class act that he is, Teo jumps all over social media with these offers, and I guess him and Turkey went back and forth, and the offer was made to him for like $11 million to fight Devin Haney and so forth, and he felt like, no, this is a much bigger fight, you know, with two big names. And you know, I guess according to Teofimo Lopez, he saw the dollar amount that Devin Haney made with Ryan Garcia, and he was like, no. But see, here's the problem with all this. Here's the fighter, once again, believing he's bigger than boxing. When you sign a contract with Turkey Al-Sheikh for $30 million for 3 fights, all he's obligated to pay you is the $30 million throughout 3 fights. However he disperses the money for each fight, that's up to Turkey. As long as at the end of the 3rd fight, you have $30 million in your bank account, then the deal is done. Say Turkey tells Teofimo Lopez to fight Arnold Barboza, and in actuality, he only gave him like $3 million. I'm saying that hypothetically. I'm not saying he actually gave Teo $33 million. But Teo's definitely not acting like he just got $10 million, right? He ain't out there with the chains and nothing. He still got that same little gimmick, that little trying to look rich gimmick, but they ain't got the money to back it up. He doesn't seem like he just got $10 million for that Arnold Barboza fight, bro. And I think Arnold Barboza was estimated at value at almost $2 million for that fight. Somewhere around there for Arnold Barboza. So if, let's just say, Turkey said to him, to Teo, all right, I'm going to give you $4 million for the first fight and 11 for the next. That means that last fight got to be for the rest of the money, for the rest of the 30, no matter who he fights. That's called a contract. No matter what Teo thinks and he wants to cry and say, nah, I want more money for fighting Devin, and then on the last fight, I'll get paid less. Well, it doesn't work like that. Once you sign a contract, you sign a contract for that $30 million. The way it gets dispersed through the 3 fights, well, I guess that's up to the guy that's paying you now, isn't it? Right? It's kind of like Scottie Pippen signing that outrageous contract in the NBA and Michael Jordan telling the Chicago Bulls, yo, he's worth more. It was like, he signed the contract, baby, for this amount. We don't got to give him a penny more. If we want to be nice and generous, we'll give you this much. Now, I think the fight fans are going off the verge of everybody wants to do math in their head, right? Because we're all fucking, these mathematicians nowadays. And since it was a 3-fight deal for $30 million, everyone assumes that each fight would be for $10 million. See, that's where you guys are going wrong. It doesn't work that way. He could give him 4, 5, 6 for the first one. He could give him 15 for the next one. And then he could pay him the remaining of the money on the last one. Or in the middle one, he could pay him the most. He could give him like fucking $4 million for fighting Arnold Barboza, give him 20 for fighting Devin, and then give him the rest on the back end, 6. That adds up to 30. You see, that's what a contract is. Whatever you signed it. Just like Floyd Mayweather signed that contract with Bob Arum. Then at the end, Floyd was like, I didn't like the contract. He bought his way out, right? Teo then went and ran his mouth about Turkey. And then all of a sudden, Teo got to come back. But now, before we get to that, I want you guys to understand the sport of boxing. There's the boxers, the fights that take place. And there's another part of boxing that is business. I keep telling you guys this, that boxing is a sport, is a business disguised as a sport. That's what boxing is. It's a business disguised as a sport. And there's a business market value to this sport, meaning the second Teo got the notice that Turkey said, yo, I ain't fucking with you. You want to call me a dictatorship? We don't play that where we from. All that calling me a dick, yo, that homosexual tendencies we don't play that out here. Our women don't even show skin, brother. We don't even show our hair in some parts. And you trying to insinuate that I'm what? That must have been, he must have took that real disrespectful. All right? So then all of a sudden, Teo makes what I call an educated business move, right? Just before Teo took to social media to apologize to Turkey, you saw Teofimo Lopez where? You saw him in the Floyd Mayweather gym, training with Floyd and them. Then you saw him with Oscar De La Hoya at his event, right? And Oscar De La Hoya was even talking Teo up, knowing that Ryan was one of his fighters on that card, and many fighters. Oscar De La Hoya lost big that night in New York, right? And he said in front of Teo, you're an amazing fighter. I would love to have you. Then everybody was like, wow, Oscar De La Hoya, you're going to take this racist Teo, this, that, and everything he said? That's not what's going on here. This is a business. Teo still has market value, and he's a good fight. As a boxing promoter, you don't got time to get tied up into the politics. What they view, what you're looking at is money. Well, how much can I make off Teo? And Teo, in some circles, he's hot right now. In some circles, not so much. Not so much. There's a lot of people that do not and are not appreciated with Teo's antics, including myself. Right? I don't like half the shit that comes out Teo's mouth. But to be honest with you, that's not what I was watching Teo for. I was watching Teo because he could fight. So Oscar understood this, Mayweather understood this, and everywhere that Teo was walking around understands this. The apology that he gave to Turkey, even Turkey understood this. Teo, you got a big fucking mouth, and maybe you might need a smack in the mouth, a nice big smack in the mouth, right? Right? So Turkey gonna give him that smack in the mouth. I'm not sure if it's gonna come from Devin. And I don't think that Turkey believes it's going to come from Devin. I think Turkey knows it's going to come on his third fight. Whoever Turkey got planned for Teo on that third fight, if he get by this one, see, Turkey's a businessman, and so ain't I. This is the money fight. This is not the fight I don't think that Teo's going to get the smack in the mouth. I don't think so. This is the money fight that Turkey's going to cash in on himself. Now, on this fight with Devin, I think Turkey, for one of the first times, he going to be getting money back. Now, the ass whooping that Teo's going to get is going to come on the third one. I truly believe that. I think that that's going to be his toughest fight. It's not this Devin fight. We all seen Devin. Devin going through some shit, man. Devin going through some shit. We know that shit. Let me answer some of y'all questions. Yo, do me a favor, man. Smash that like button. It costs nothing. Let's see if we can get these videos up to 30 likes right now. I want to get this up. We got 18 watching here. We got some watching on Facebook. Let's hit these likes up, guys. Devin is a top G. Top G, listen. There is no question Devin's one of the top guys in boxing today. So let's just get that out of the fucking, let's get that out right there. Devin Haney's name rings bells in boxing. Whether it rings the right bell or the wrong bell, it rings bells. You cannot deny that. And another thing, Devin's good for the sport. You know, for as much as I would like Bill Haney to pump his brakes on a little bit of the chatterbox and allow his son to create the Devin Haney name, you know, by wins, right? Rather than chasing some of our legends and always attaching your name to other people. Devin Haney doesn't need Floyd Mayweather's help. He's a remarkable fighter. And all he needs to do is get his shit back on track, baby. Yo, we're talking about a 25-year-old kid. Y'all think he's finished. Bro, he's 25 years old, bro. Chill out. My man, he's young enough to shake this. Now, if Devin was 30 or 33, he suffered that massive, I'd be like, man, I don't think he's coming back. He would have been too broken by then. You know what I'm saying? Your body doesn't respond. When you young, you can forget about shit. All Devin needs is blood, baby. That's all Devin needs. Get him in there. Let him knock out some decent fighter. I wish he would have did that to Ramirez. Learning curve, man. Learning curve. Let's all remember Devin was coming off a year layoff. It's a little ring rust there. The timing was off. The nerves was up. The moment was big. There was a lot of money on the table. That's tough for a 25-year-old kid. I don't give a fuck if he went off to Australia and got those belts. It's not the same coming off that kind of fight with Ryan. It's not the same thing, bro. So Devin's going to do his thing. Devin going to do his thing. I'm just not as confident as I once was in Devin Haney with his performances. I know what he got to offer. I know what he can do. But just because I know that doesn't mean he's going to turn it around. I'm not too sure. I'm not Devin Haney. Listen, you can sit in your living room. I can sit here and be like, nah, fuck that. Yo, if I was this, I'll go do that. Bro, come on, actually, like you watching a fight and then criticizing the dude for what he didn't do. Bro, you should have did this. You should have did that because you're comfortable. You're on the outside watching the fight. But if you're in the fire, sometimes this dude ain't letting you think, and you might do the wrong things. Afterwards, you might go and say, man, I should have did this, this, and this. That's what's called learning experience. That's how you get it. The only way you want to get fight experience, you got to fight. And with every fight comes a new experience. Devin Haney's going through some shit. This is a learning curve. He needs to get it together. And if you fucking around and signed up to fight with Teo to try to see, come on, Dad, man, fuck that. We got to take these tough fights type shit. Devin, are you ready? Or are you being talked into this? Or is Turkey feeding you to Teo? Which way is this? What's like, come on. Devin, you can't allow Teo to not, bro, I'm gonna publicly come out and say it. Devin, don't get knocked out by Teo, bro. Don't go in there being scared. And as well, too eager. Devin, all you really gotta do is be yourself, baby. You got skills, Devin. You got skills. If anybody can actually beat Teo, Devin, you could do it. Devin, you could do it. I don't expect you to knock out Teo. I expect you to outbox him and outpoint him. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not thinking that Devin's going to go in there and flatline Teo. Although, I don't know why y'all keep thinking Devin can't punch. The man can crack. He's just fighting more better competition. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Let me catch up to y'all. We got a little bit of haters. Always love the trolls in the building. Always love you. Love your hate mail, your comments, everything. Because at least it gets the comment up there and shit and really shows what kind of where you at. Thoughts on Turkey not letting Devin promote the Crawford and, well, see, Devin's going through some shit, man. You know, Devin's going through some shit, man. And I believe that all these moves are done for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So, thoughts on Dana White now promoting for this too? Okay. My thoughts on Dana White not promoting the Terrence Crawford Bud, fight was because, first of all, if you look on the dates, the UFC is kicking off a big event. And Dana's going to be real busy trying to still manage the UFC. Then what he wants Dana to do is to build the event for the upcoming Turkey Al-Sheikh Boxing League, the TKO League. So Dana got a lot on his plate. A lot. Dana's going to really have to make a decision whether he's just going to walk away from a lot of the power with the day-to-day on the UFC, his puppy, and try to do this. I'm not sure. Maybe Dana takes them both on. Who knows? But the one thing that Dana White knows how to do is build a sport from the ground up. That's the reason why Turkey picked Dana White. He didn't pick Oscar De La Hoya. He didn't pick Bob Arum. He didn't pick Queensbridge, Warren, Oscar De La Hoya. None of the top guys in the sport of boxing. Why you think Turkey didn't pick any of those big guys to lead this event before he got to the guy that he's doing it now with, right? Okay, I'll get to that, right? The reason why is Turkey looked at all of them and said, And it probably in his mind, he probably said, you guys have been here the whole time. And this is how you guys left boxing. You guys are all incompetent. None of you changed boxing. You guys all decided to keep your hands in the cookie jar, and you went with the way boxing is. Boxing is the way it is because of you people like you. So he went and got Dana White, somebody new. Somebody that wasn't tied in or had obligations to all of them. Because Turkey knows, like I know, even if you was to hire Oscar De La Hoya, he still has ties with all the boxing promoter and influence. What makes me think he won't stab me in the back eventually for one of his old friends? What makes me think that if I hired Bob Arum, you know what I'm saying, and I'm an outside billionaire, I'm going into a new sport with all these sharks that have been here forever. They might not get along, but they all need each other. Turkey understands that. You see? One way, shape, or form, all these guys got each other's phone numbers. So by getting in and getting one of them, you're in the same place. Hire someone that has no connections with all of them, that doesn't owe any of them. As a matter of fact, don't even like none of them. Dana White. He knows how to build an organization, a fighting combat sport organization, and he brought it from virtually nothing to the billion-dollar thing that it is today, the UFC. And the only reason why it was also because this was probably going to be a one fight off, and then to kick off TKO, Dana White said, you really don't need me. This kind of fight can sell itself. Terrence Crawford's name and Saul Canelo Alvarez's name, that they'll sell the fight by themselves. You don't need Dana White in this situation. Dana White probably told him, allow me to conduct my business with the UFC. This is the type of fight that can market itself. I'll be back for the TKO. Just business-wise, the way I think, you really don't need Dana for this fight. You don't. All you got to do is say, Saul, Terrence Crawford, up. There's people right now want to know where's the ticket sales right now? Where do I already book my flight? See what I'm saying? So it might not be a situation for that, and it also frees up Dana White to be able to do the day-to-day things that he needs to do for the fight that's going to be on the same day of the Saul Canelo Alvarez fight for the UFC. So, like that. I hope that answers your question. Jesus Christ, John 13:16, he that believes on the... Thank you for the scripture, my brother. I appreciate it, but I have a big audience, and I just respect everybody's wishes that if we didn't talk about religion or politics on the channel, because everybody has a religion or a political view, and those are two fights that are never ending, or arguments or discussions. As you know, they can go either way. We can be politics that agree, that conversation will never end. We could be on the same religion background, we could talk forever. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't allow it to come in and stuff. Those are your personal beliefs and stuff. I appreciate it. You know, I choose to keep my religion to myself because that's personal. That's personal for me, you know? So, and I don't try to push my religion or my beliefs onto anybody. Yeah. What's up, Mountain Man? How you doing? He just got to dodge that left hook for Devin Haney. However, I don't speak Spanish. No, Dana, not Devin. Yes, I corrected myself. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, what's up, guys? Damn, you guys are texting here, huh? Okay. Come on, guys. Don't forget to hit them likes. Come on. We got more than 30 people watching. Let's get them lights up. Let's see if we can get the lights up to 30. It costs you nothing. It helps out the live stream. And if you're enjoying yourself here, man, yo, it is nothing. You know what I mean? Support the brand. You will see blood. UFC is getting boring, guys. I haven't watched UFC in so long, bro. Ever since I just went back to boxing, all I do is eat, sleep, shit boxing, and I think that I'm better for it. You know, for years, just because my opportunity, I squandered it. I got no one to blame but myself for my career, okay? And I take full responsibility for, you know, I always say it, man. I am the definition of wasted talent, bro. I was pretty good, bro. But I took my things to the street, you know. Once I started knowing how to knock people out or hurt people, man, I'm not gonna tell you that I was always the nicest guy, but you could always change. You could always change your stars. You know, I laugh, I smile all day today. I choose never to put my hands on anybody else unless it's to defend myself. And I don't want to fight nobody. I don't want to be a tough guy. I know what it's like being a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? And I could always tell the people that really never have been in fights, because if you've ever been in a fight before, you probably wouldn't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to be in a fight, bro, and to be scared, and to be and in the moment of the fight have to tell yourself, listen, there's nobody coming to save you. You in another city or something, and you started, some dude attacked you in an alley, try to get your wallet. He took out a knife, and you guys are struggling in an alley. There's no help coming. There's no help coming for you. You better make a decision. And don't think for them. I've seen people, you know, like in movies and stuff, a barbarian will come to the village, and the guy is real humble and he believes in God, and he says, I don't want to fight you, and he lays down, and the dude puts the sword right through his chest, right? That was a grown-ass man right there. He just didn't choose violence, and he allowed you to take his life. When I see shit like that, I say to myself, well, that's his choice. That's on him. You pick that sword up against me, I'm going to show you where you can put that. You know what I'm saying? That's my choice. You know what I mean? It says it. Be gentle as a lamb, but shrewd as a snake, right? So these are things that, you know, us as men, as individuals, as warriors, you know, we there's moments in combat that, and when I started watching UFC and shit and boxing and stuff, I cut all other sports out. I don't watch baseball no more, football, basketball. I don't watch nothing. Thank God boxing's year round. We don't have like seasonal breaks in our sport. All year round, boxing's kicking off. All year round. Not like baseball, I gotta be there sitting, waiting till spring break or the NFL break up. Nah. My sport is, yo, that shit is continuous. I got enough action. I'm just waiting for one fight. This car, I watch Pro Box. I'll go watch over here. It keeps me entertained, you know. And then the UFC, man, they're stable competition. We're so much better, right? Your fucking division consists of 35 guys. Shut up. No wonder one belt works for you. You only got 35 guys to please. And half those guys, 4 of them are championship worthy in the UFC. You couldn't do that in boxing anymore. We've evolved. The reason why we got to a 4-belt era is because we noticed the problem that we have in boxing. That if you were to turn every division into a 1-belt division, you would destroy boxing. You would destroy it. Bro, there are on average, throughout every division, some have less, some have more. But on average, there are about 1,200 fighters in every weight division. Some divisions, there's 2,000, 3,000 fighters registered. So you're talking about 17 weight divisions times 2. Times 2? That's all, yo, easy. I don't know what the number's gonna be, but easy over 25,000 men. You mean to tell me that if you had 1 belt for every division, what if that champion gets sick? What if he breaks his hand? You put 1,200 or 3,000 people's career on hold because everybody got to fight you. 1 belt would kill boxing. So they realized, wait a minute, there's enough men and there's enough great talent where multiple guys can be a world champion. And multiple cities and countries won't get held up by 1 guy. Then they said, damn, not even 4 belts is enough. Let's make interim belts. And although these interim belts get highly criticized, they're good for boxing. Because if you get the guy that's been waiting 6 years for a title shot, and he finally gets an interim belt, at least he's gonna feel like he's part of the show. Most of these guys feel like they're sitting in the background on a fucking NBA Finals bench. You don't know who those guys are. And a lot of guys are like, hey, I'll fight. And they're not getting called up to the show. So even though you got the 4 real belts and probably 4 interim belts attached to that, which is 8 belts, shit, that still doesn't seem like it's enough, does it? How about your favorite fighter coming up? Is he getting avoided? Are they still playing hot potato with these belts? Is it hard for some of these guys still to get title shots? How many guys you know been boxing for 10 years and coming up on their first title shot? How long was Frank the Ghost Martin fighting before he got his first shot with Tank Davis? And has he got another shot since? And that's with all these belts in it. There's too many boxers. There's way too many fighters, bro. Way too many prospects, people coming out, people coming in. Everybody trying to change their stars, and everybody wants a shot at that belt. No wonder it works for the UFC. Motherfucker, you got less than 10,000 fighters in the entire UFC. Bro, if you got 3,000 fighters in the entire UFC, and including the girls, you might pull off 6,000. That might be too much. Yeah, your organization is small. It's brand new. It's going to work with 1 belt. That's why that shit works there. It would never work in our sport. We've come too far. Why you think we got the IBO on the back wing? The European title. We're about to come up on a 5-belt era. Don't tell nobody. But we are in a 5-belt era right now. Turkey Al-Sheikh took that Ringside magazine. Where do you see it? Everywhere. Is that not starting to look like a belt? Does Tio, the people that own it, don't they walk around like, I'm putting the ring up? They're still not announcing it as a 5-belt era yet. And the Ringside's been around since the beginning of fucking Christ. I think Moses and Jesus actually fought for that belt back in the day. You know, the Ringside, right? Right? So like, it's been around forever, but it's more prestigious than anything. It's an honor to wear that belt, actually. That belt got a lot of historic value in boxing. There's a lot of good men and women, legends, fucking Hall of Famers that proudly wore that belt. So out of respect, that ringside is that shit holds a lot of fucking weight, bro. I would be honored to hold that ringside magazine belt, man. You know what I mean? But as Hall of Fame and champion status to the organizations that did build boxing. You know what I mean? The ringside was always a part of boxing, but it was just a magazine. It was considered the Bible of boxing, the ringside magazine at one point in time. And that's where you got your boxing news. There was none of this podcasting shit or us talking. That's where you got your boxing news, was the ringside. So although it's been around all the major organizations that actually built boxing, the fighters actually fought to compete for these organizations' tournaments and boxing scheduled matches that they were hosting. You understand? Over the years, more belts were involved and things changed. But absolutely, boxing is definitely in a better place. It might seem a little chaotic at times and kind of wild, wild westish, right? And there's a lot of guys that still got their money in the cookie jar. I get it. I get it. But for as transparent as boxing really is, the NBA, NFL, HL, whatever, it's all like that. They're just a little bit more with it. They're more behind the curtain with it. There's a lot of big mouth dudes and got their hands in them cookie jars. They signing some kids out of college. You know, every sport has it. Every sport has it. Is in boxing, you're just dealing with tough dudes. Real tough men that walk around like, yeah, what? Yeah, I signed him. I gave him a deal. I bought his mama a car. You ain't bringing them on no NCAA award. You know what I mean? You ain't. Boxing's a little bit up front. You know, where do they post all the shit for all these other guys? You know, like they do in boxing. You know, we know your fucking promoter, your management, your girlfriend, the guy that lives next door to you. We know every man you fought, fucking every deal, every dollar you made, fucking what size the ring was. We know everything. You might know numbers with these guys, point stats, passing yards. Yeah, that's all numbers. You know what I'm saying? Unless he smacks his wife or something, then he's not going to be in the media for that now, is he? No. You guys know all the NFL guys' management? Who he's signed to? You guys know all their pay grade, their things, what they're in their contracts, what their incentives are? We know that in boxing. We're a little bit more transparent. That's why it looks more like shit be out of control, but I keep telling you guys this. Boxing's a sport disguised as a business. A business disguised as a sport. Sorry, I said it backwards. But it's a business disguised as a sport, and there's just a lot of, still to this day, there's a lot of cash handing going around in boxing. And a lot of the lower things, we still pay in cash. We still negotiate with vanilla envelopes at times. When you get bigger, there's no more, there's bank accounts, baby. That money better deposit in my bank account. You know what I mean? So that's different and shit. But yeah. Yeah, a whole bunch of trolls. Yeah, you know how it is, baby. Trolls is always going, nice belts, thank you. Thank you. Rachel Donaire, how you doing? Hey, so now you know why I didn't say anything. About what? Was somebody bothering Rachel? What's up? Frequent flyer. What up, Stan? The belts are too many. You know, the belts get crazy. The belts get crazy. And these guys keep manufacturing, you know, stupid belts, right? Like, for instance, guys, check it out, right? Okay. WBC, right? They got the WBC, what we consider super, which is the biggest one. That's the real deal. They got the WBC interim. They got the WBC Latin America. They got the WBC gold. They got the WBC silver. That's too many, bro. Now that's getting crazy. You understand? Remember, if you didn't notice, right? If just in case you didn't notice, the fight the other day versus Davis versus Hernandez there, right? Hernandez beat the brakes out of that dude, by the way. Did you see the belt they put on his shoulder? The WBC Latin America? I mean, WBA, I'm sorry. The WBA Latin America title is what they were fighting for. Then who has the WBA interim? And who has the real WBA super? It's kind of like what Rolly fought for in Ryan. Now shit gets confusing. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like those bullshit ass, them other ones. Stop with the freaking, the silver gold and Pacific Northwest. Bro, what the hell are you doing? Like, yo, that irritates me. First of all, I understand the situation of the amount of boxers, and the opportunities are far in between sometimes unless you got a big promotional company. And in sport of boxing, sometimes it's unfair that you must maintain an early part of your career being undefeated. Undefeated. Very few boxers can lose and get a shot back at a title very fast, but that has happened. In certain situations, you know why it happened. Like when Vasily got his first title shot with 2 fights, he had 2 gold medals. So when he lost, those gold medals carried him to another title fight. So didn't Roberto Ramirez. Roberto Ramirez lost early in his career, but that gold medal is what kept him back in it. Some people suffer losses, and unless you built your name or had a big media following, you might go back down to obscurity. It's going to be a hard road fought back. Just ask Angelo Leo. Of one fight he lost with Stephen Kubo Forte, that wasn't for no title. How long did it take him to finally get a title shot? How many fights you think? You see what I'm saying? So I understand the headache. So I explained that part of it. But what the organizations are doing is abusing their power. I truly believe we don't need that many belts, man. We don't. Now, what we need is well, I would like to try it. You know, in order to try something to see if it works, there has to be trial and error. It's going to be a time where everybody's not going to like it. And then with a little bit of time, maybe they can see the benefit of it. I was under the impression that if you were going to make, as an organization, an amount of belts, there should be a law where you cannot exceed 3. Like the boxing councils of the world, like they should be like a boxing god that even these guys have to answer to. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them too much power, they'll lose their mind. And that's exactly what happened. You should be only be able to make the top belt for one division. I'm talking in one division. The real one, the interim, and like a minor one. We'll give it our own name, a minor. The minor. The minor slightly goes under the interim. The interim slightly more powerful than the minor. And then the super is powerful than all. Just those threes. Knock off this Latin, fucking whatever, silver, gold, diamond. Knock them all off. You can survive with three. You know why you can survive with three? Because every other organization will have also three. And I think those three, and etc. would give the sport enough. It's going to be tight, but with implementing only those three belts for each organization, we also implement rules where that if you don't take these title fights when they're offered to you, you go back to the end of the line, make your way back up. You don't squander opportunities. And if you have an official doctor note saying, oh, my hand, then provide proof and you won't go back in line, we'll get you on the next one. But if you're on vacation talking about, I'm not taking this fight because I'm partying, no, you lost your opportunity. And with those slight rules and the implementation of only three belts, hopefully, you know what I'm saying? It would get us back to where we need to get, where we can, these belts start fucking meaning something. You know what I mean? Latin America. I don't care who the Latin American. It's a great award. Good honor. Great. But I don't think you should pay sanctioning fees to the Latin American title. That's my opinion. These organizations, they gonna make their money the way they gonna make it. Rachel Donaire, how you doing? That is fucking awesome. That is awesome. I hope Nonito Donaire gets that interim world title. That's a fucking step in the right direction. But the interim has to mean something. You see how Arnold Barboza got the WBO interim? What'd he do? Fight Teo. That meant something. That means something right there. And that's what I mean. Like, they're fucking great belts, man. I would be honored to fucking get an interim belt or something, but I just want it to mean something. With all the other interim belts, I got the gold, silver, North Pacific guys walking around me in the same division with pretty much the belt looking the same. Whose is better? You know, I just want clarify, and I want the belt to mean something. I want that interim belt to carry its weight. It's supposed to be a piece of a world championship. That interim belt is supposed to signify a piece of your world. That means I'm threatening you. That has to mean something. That's big. But we need to cut these other shits out to give that one powerful too. So that way the interim guys are not looked past. Oh, you got an interim belt. No. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I want to do away with the rest of them. We'll keep them like that. And interim belts and some organizations, they mean something because they can get you somewhere. But it's a problem when you become the interim champion and you start collecting interim belts and you're not going nowhere. You got to recognize, I got to drop this shit. I already did that. Because I'm just paying them money for nothing. And I'm not really, and they're not giving me the fight. Your organization sucks. Now I don't want to represent you. Because you're not representing my interest. You got to recognize things